What's going on, party people? My name is Solomon. I am an artist, and thus I go by Solomon the Artiste. So, first of all, I apologize if you're hearing anything in the background. I'm in Georgia, first of all, and I am in my bathroom because I figured I needed to be here in front of this huge mirror in order to do this particular video. And I'm gonna actually try to keep this video short because the last time that I did a mustache, how to do a mustache video, I intended it to be like 5 minutes or so, and it ended up being 20 something minutes. And that's just because I talk too much. So, but I still gotta give a little bit of background as to why I'm here at this moment. So, when I first decided that I was gonna start doing a handlebar mustache, I did it quite differently than other dudes. Usually they just sort of, from the minute that they had enough hair that can just fold up, they start training. I didn't do that because I was insecure. What I did is I grew my entire beard, all my facial hair out as you see it right now. Side note, if you see any sort of, if you see any extra glistening in the beard, I'm literally moisturizing my beard as we're speaking. So I'm multitasking. I actually have something in the oven and everything. That's besides the point. In any case, see, I told you I talk too much. But in any case, when I started growing the mustache, I found one black male who was wearing a mustache at the time, and I reached out to him thinking I wouldn't even get an answer because he's a Broadway actor, and I figured he don't have the time, but I reached out. I said, hey, I like your mustache. I'm trying to move into that realm. May I ask what you use? And he surprisingly responded in less than a minute. And so, based on his answer, that's what I used. I went on Amazon, ordered, and that's what I started using. So I use Clubman Mustache Wax. Never tried anything else. It's just someone told me to use this. This is a dude who is a mixed black male as I am, and our hair textures are very similar. So I figured if it works for him, it's gonna work for me. So this is what I've used the whole time. I love it. I've had no complaints. However, in the past couple of months, the past few months, I started posting a lot more on Instagram as I started to become far more comfortable with myself and in my artistry and everything. And my mustache is very much so a part of that artistry, very much so a part of my image. And so I started using the hashtag mustache and handlebar mustache and everything. And in doing that, I got a lot of recognition. Enough recognition, more than just my friends who follow me, friends and family and whatnot, and people who, just people who are facial hair enthusiasts, if that's a thing. In any case, one particular company just started following me because of those hashtags and actually reached out to me, and that is Death Grip Mustache Wax. Now, at first they just followed and they would like compliment on the photos and whatnot. And what happened is that I had another company who was interested in using me as an ambassador for their product. I had never used their stuff before, but they were interested. They liked the photos I put up and whatever. So I just kind of said that in just randomly in, I think, one of my stories or something, I don't know. But Death Grip actually reached out and said, hey, we see that you're looking to be an ambassador. We really like your look and what you're doing. We'd love to work with you. Let us know what's up. And so I let them know what's up. However, I'm not an influencer, I'm an artist. I make music, I act. That's what I do. I don't think I'd ever be the type of person to be paid to give a glowing review of anything, so I decided that I am going to buy the product and try it, and if it's something that I can work with, then I'll reach out and see what we can work out, and if not, then I tried it. Ironically, they still sent it to me for free, and it's just as well because I actually love it. So what I love about this here is that, and this is especially with me being a musician, it comes with a guitar pick. Now, yes, it's an actual guitar pick. You can play guitar with it and everything. However, it's ingenious because of the way the product comes. You can just scrape out what you need and whatnot. You know, imagine trying to scrape this out with your nails. It's not gonna work. You know, we're dudes, you know, most of the time we don't got nails. We cut them down as far as we can, or at least I do. In any case, I can't do really a review or tutorial, if you will, today, because I don't have a blow dryer with me. And that's something with this particular wax. It's competition grade, so it's really strong. And I don't necessarily need that, but I use it, I like it, especially now because of the pandemic. You know, we gotta be out there wearing our masks. If you're not out there wearing your mask, put on your dang mask. I'm just saying. But besides the point, when you use this competition grade mustache wax and you put your mask on, when you take it off, it's still intact. You know, it's amazing. That's all I can really say. Now, what I will say also is that I struggled with the wax at first, because with the Clubman Mustache Wax, I can usually get away with using a generous amount, and I usually will use a generous amount because I want my entire beard to match, my entire mustache to match. And so I put it on everything, which that's what you're supposed to do anyway. But I like to put it on, lay it down, and, you know, curl over. I found personally that it was a bit difficult to do that with this because it would set everything in place perfectly. It does. It's competition grade, like I said, but at the same time, I like to put the product on and comb it, you know, sideways. I like for my mustache to just all be slick to the side and curled up. A lot of other dudes, what they do is they will usually trim the mustache down. I don't know if you can, I'm gonna get close. They usually let the mustache grow and they'll trim everything that's here, and then everything else on the side, they'll curl. I don't love that per se, at least not for me, because I like for the hair on the ends to be thick. Now, some people get away with that by having the beard, because they will incorporate some of the beard into it. I don't want to do that. I'm not always gonna have the beard. I'm an actor. There's times where I'm gonna have to just get rid of the beard altogether. With the mustache, I can usually cheat and make it look like a goatee or something by combing the ends down into, you know, the sides or whatever. So I have to be smart with it. However, what I've grown to do now is sort of marry the two, because it just works for me. I need my curl to stay intact when I put the mask on. But what I was getting at is that usually when I use the death grip on this part of it, I just don't like the way it looks. It looks too gunky, and I've tried to like use less. I will say in the beginning I was using too much, and that's what I was getting at with being generous with the Clubman Mustache Wax. I'm used to using a certain amount, and so I was using basically the same amount, but the formulas are so different that you can't do that, you know, with the two different products. But so yeah, it just didn't look right to me. And maybe what I'll do is I can't that wouldn't be fair. I don't have a what do you call it? I just said it, hair dryer to use this. So what you're supposed to do is you're supposed to blow the hair dryer on here for about, you know, 6 to 10 seconds. That heats it up enough for you to scoop some up, work it in your fingers real quick, and work it in the mustache very quickly. And you have to work quickly because, again, it's a wax, competition grade wax, and it will begin to harden very rapidly. So I find, however, that I am still able to get away with using a bit without having to heat it up. So that's what I'm gonna do right now, actually. So I just scrape some out. Let's do the influencer thing. Where we at? Can you see it? There we go. So I took that much out. That might actually have been too generous, ironically. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna work it in my finger, and that actually helps to warm it up, you know? And what I do now, like I said, I married the two products together. Normally I wouldn't do this if I'm only using Clubman Mustache Wax. But what I do, this looks so awkward, like pulling my lip. But what I do is I do the ends first with Death Grip Mustache Wax. This is so funny how all of a sudden it seems as if I could probably just still go ahead and use this on the whole mustache, but we'll see. I'll see how I feel in a moment. So the end is done. I'm gonna let that sit for a moment, because what I do is, while I give that a few seconds to just harden just enough where when I curl it, it'll stick in place, I use some Clubman wax on the rest of the mustache. Now the reason I do this is because I don't need the mustache on the top of my lip to necessarily be so hard. You know, it's gonna stay in place, you know, and I still want it to be slicked to the side as opposed to just sitting downward. I don't have my glasses on, y'all, so forgive me. It may not look as slick as I think it looks in the mirror, but I'm trying to be quick with this tutorial because I don't want another 20-minute tutorial. And I'm sort of looking in the mirror as I'm doing this, but hopefully you can still see. Yeah, you can still see. Look at this. We're at 11:38 minutes. But in any case, so in those few seconds, now we do the curl. This is so awkward trying to do it. Actually, I'll just look in the viewfinder. So what I like to do is I like to curl it, then I press on it, and pressing on it sort of helps to direct the curl, because sometimes if you, like say if you hold it forward, the curl will face forward, you know, in that sort of fashion, and you don't want that, or at least I don't want that. You know, I want it to be back and bold and there for everyone to see. So sometimes you'll have to play a little bit with it. You know, sometimes you do that little thing there. Point is, you just play with it until it's where you need it to be. So that's where I'm at now. That works for me. Again, we're gonna brush or comb the rest of the stache into place. And then, I think I mentioned this in the other video, I like to sort of pinch it just to give it that bit of a, you know, that narrowing effect. When I said I wanted to look like a cartoon, what I was trying to say is that I wanted my mustache to be reminiscent of old Samity Sam. That's what I was trying to say. So, but y'all seem to still get a pretty good laugh out of that. I give up. This is actually gonna be probably like 20 minutes, but bear with me, come on. So yeah, that's where I'm at with the stache. Now, what I'm realizing is that for some reason, the wax was not as hard to work with without heat as I found before. So I'm gonna just test something out. And I'm gonna actually use it on my mustache completely. But I think I'm gonna still start with the tip first and then work my way upwards. So again, I start with the tip of the stache. And part of the reason that I do that also is because I feel like that helps to make sure that it's pulled back so that when I curl it, you know, it comes in an angle where if I look forward, you can see it like this here, you know. Now, what I'm about to do is I'm gonna take out, I realize I didn't show y'all that. I don't have to show you how to do that nonetheless, but still. Take some out with the guitar pick, warm it up, and we're gonna try this. See, I'm already a bit concerned. You know, it's so strong. Like, it's great that it's this strong. It's a miraculous thing, but what ends up happening is exactly what I think well, maybe you won't see it in the camera, I just don't like the way it looks. So I love for the stache to be slicked down. Now this is slicked down. The problem for me is that, forgive me, I gotta look in the mirror real quick, is that, you know, putting it, I don't know if you can see it, but I don't know how to describe it. It's like the wax sort of has little bits of buildup, but it's not because anything is wrong with the wax. It's, I'm looking at the viewfinder. It's, you know, it does exactly what it's supposed to do, and it could very well be me. It could very well be the fact that I do not have the hair dryer to warm it up. But I just, it's almost like it ends up, so it's ironic. I say I want my stache to look sort of like a cartoon, Old Yosemite Sam. I want that effect. I like, you know, I feel like if you're gonna do something that's considerably out of the norm, do it big, you know. That might just be the artist in me, I don't know. But there are times where it ends up looking almost sort of too shiny, if you will. And maybe it's just because I've got dark hair. It could just be that as well, I don't know. Sorry y'all, I had to like bend forward a bit so I could see it a little better. So, all right, so here's where we at. So, it's gonna be weird, I'm gonna get close just to make a point. Maybe you cannot see it in the camera. However, what I don't like is that sometimes, because it's not a gel, so I'll put it like this, because it's not a gel where you can have a little bit, it's a little looser and you can have more control over how the hair sits, it's a wax that dries very quickly. If you don't move fast enough, you get situations like this where some of the hair clumps together, and that, I don't find that to be attractive per se. And that's why I prefer putting the Clubman up here, because even if when it dries a bit, and it's not, if it's not perfect, you can just add more and adjust. You know, it's loose enough. It's more gel-like in that sense, the Clubman Mustache Wax. The Death Grip, I don't really have the pleasure of doing that, but what I will say is that it is basically sort of rock hard, so I don't have to worry about it like shifting or anything when it's under the mask and all that good stuff. And then the other thing is that, you know, when it comes to pictures and everything, it's not that big of a deal. You're not gonna be close enough ever. You're not gonna be up in someone's face like this, you know, to be up in their mustache like that. And then also maybe I just have to figure out an exact way, just like with the Clubman Mustache Wax. Like, it took me some time to figure out how to use it properly. Like, for a long time, I couldn't figure out why my mustache kept falling to the front by the end of the day. I found out it was because I was twisting it like I saw in the cartoons, like Old Yosemite Sam. I was twisting it to get it all covered in the wax and then curling it, and then the curl was sort of, the twist was sort of loosening as I was going throughout my day. I learned quickly, you know, just pull it straight forward and curl it and it will just sit. So maybe I've got to figure out some specific plan or tactic while using the Death Grip Mustache Wax. I don't know, but either way, the point is, the way this here on my right side, this is the way I normally do now. I use the Clubman, the Death Grip on the tip itself, and I do that because when I wear the mask, this is what's gonna move the most, the curl. So wearing the mask, this basically doesn't move. Yeah, because it's hardened enough where even if it shifts a bit when I take the mask off, it just falls right back into place without problem. And then I use this up here because it's loose enough where I can adjust for as long as I need to until I like it. And if I need to, you know, adjust again afterwards, I can add a little bit and it'll get back into place. And then also, this is tinted. It's a black tint. So using it on the curl itself, even though the curl for the most part does stay in place if I happen to be lazy and don't use the Death Grip Mustache Wax, and I just decide to just use only Clubman, even though it will stay in place for the most part, it's tinted. So when you take the mask off, you might see, well, I definitely do see some of the product on the mask, or it might press against my cheek, and then I gotta try to go through the whole process of cleaning that off, you know, wherever I'm at, if it's at an event or something, I don't know. Not that I would take the mask off at an event anyway. I ain't trying to get no corona, but the point is, you know, it happens. So yeah, that's pretty much it with the stache. So this isn't really a review. I don't know if you can call this a tutorial, but I just wanted to just put this out there. I feel like when I started doing mustaches, when I started doing my mustache and I was trying to do research, I just was not finding the info that I needed, the help that I needed. But these are both products that I love, and they do exactly what they need to do. Yeah, you know, you can, now I can blow my nose without having to worry. You know, sometimes that happens. And especially if you are someone, you can, trust me, you will love this. I love this, but I just have to use it a certain way, you know. If I didn't love it, I wouldn't use it at all, but it works. I will say though, I know that they are coming out with a milder version of this wax. So I'm guessing that maybe I'm not the only person who struggled a little bit when first trying to use it. And I shouldn't say struggled necessarily, but I'm sure like they must have realized that not everyone needs the competition grade wax. You know, some of us just need to get it on and go on with our day. So yeah, I can't wait for that one to come out. I'm gonna definitely buy that one unless they send me that one too, and I'll let you know how it is. But I'm gonna end this here because this 5-minute video still turned out to be 20 minutes long. I apologize. And you have yourself a blessed day. Peace.